As I look at this image of Jesus, I can't help but notice the juxtaposition of a baby with a crown, the power and position of royalty with the fragility of an infant in the lowly place of the manger. For Jesus wasn't just a fully human baby in a manger. He was fully God, all-powerful, all-knowing, yet there he lay. Not in a hospital or some sterile environment, but in a back alley stable and in an animal's food trough. No doctor in sight, just the loving, naive eyes of his parents peering down at him and wondering, what do we do now? It's a little outrageous that this is how the King of the universe chose to join us, to be among us, to be just like us. In his humble, needy arrival, he was absolutely vulnerable and completely dependent on his earthly parents and whatever relatives came alongside them, given their scandalous story. He left the glory of heaven for the confines of earth, and more so, a human body. What does that say to you and to me? It means that Jesus gets us. He gets what we're going through. He stepped into our world, becoming one of us, so we could see that he understood and felt and had lived in the mess. And he sure did arrive in a mess, politically, economically, socially, even his literal physical surroundings. He came into it so we would see that we didn't have to stay in the mess. Hebrews 4, verses 14 through 16 in the Amplified Bible says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize and understand our weaknesses and temptations, but one who has been tempted, knowing exactly how it feels to be human in every respect as we are, and yet without committing any sin." And this is how he came, for he chose to trust God's plan for reconciling us to himself, which meant becoming utterly dependent on his heavenly and earthly Father. He went through it all, from manger to cross, from vulnerable to vulnerable, leaving the security and power of heaven behind for us. Dwayne Montague summed it up so well. The heart of the Christmas story is divinity wrapping itself in humanity for you and for me. Say that out loud. For me. This was just the beginning of Jesus showing that there wasn't anything he wouldn't do for you and for me.